The oldest surviving houses in Tennessee is the Historic Ramsey House. Like many plantations of the time, slaves were an integral part of maintaining the property. Digital storyteller William Winnett shares what life was like for the first Ramsey House slaves.
Known as the finest house in Tennessee, the Historic Ramsey House was first occupied by Colonel Francis Alexander Ramsey, his family, and his slaves.
They were very much an agricultural family. They grew cotton, they grew flax, they had sheep, and they had some cattle and, of course, other livestock. And so it was very much a working farm.
Sitting on 2,000 acres, the Ramsey House farmland was tended to not by the slaves, but by tenant farmers, those who grew crops or raised livestock on land that's owned by someone else.
In terms of the enslaved, he had 6 individuals, mostly helping inside the home. They would have helped with the children. They also would have helped with the cooking and the cleaning of the house and the caring of the things inside, as well as probably the herb garden and the things immediately related to food preparation.
Ramsey's 6 slaves were Venus, Cato, Levy, Dorcas, Hannah, and Sophrona.
Francis Ramsey married Peggy. She was from North Carolina, and we know that while she was living at home with her parents, that Venus was her personal maid. Cato, we know, was more involved with the fields. We know that Levy was actually the carriage driver for the family. A lot of the household duties were done by Venus and Hannah and Dorcas and others.
The slaves lived in cabins on the Ramsey property until the Historic Ramsey House was finished.
Once the house was completed, that they probably slept in the loft area, a room above the kitchen.
Although Francis Ramsey owned slaves, documents show that he often struggled with the idea of enslaving people.
We have letters that reflect his questions that he had asked his pastor and questions that he had asked concerning the whole moral and ethical idea of owning another individual.
The Historic Ramsey House is currently working on an exhibit in the loft where the slaves lived, in the hopes it will put into perspective the stories of those who once lived in our area.
Opening up that loft will allow us to have better insight to what the daily life of an enslaved person was like. It's a complicated issue. It's not easily resolved within our own minds today. And our goal is just to provide information so that we can all continue to process this time period and what it meant.
After Francis Ramsey's death, the Ramsey family still owned slaves until slavery was abolished. Some even continued working at the Ramsey House after they were freed.